So the first thing you need to do after you shoot your rounds and collect them is you'll end up with a bunch of casings. And the casings will have the primer. As you can see, it's been hit with the hammer, gone off, bullet's gone, nothing inside. And so the cases are, you know, probably dirty, had a little dirt on the ground, or also have some powder residue left inside of them. And so the first thing we'll do is we'll use our Frankford Arsenal case tumbler, quick and easy. It has some walnut shells inside of it that you can buy also, and it comes actually with the kit when you buy it. And this runs, I don't know, $45 or so. And we'll fill it up with our walnuts. We'll pour in our casings. We'll put the top on with the washer and the wing nut. Screw it down really tight because it's going to vibrate. After we screw it down really tight, we'll turn it on and we'll leave it there. And we also, if you want to make them real shiny, before you put the casings in there, if you want to put in some of their brass polish without the casings in there, let it tumble for a while so it kind of mixes in. And then once you put your casings in, you get it tightened down, you turn it on with the switch, and you'll let it go for an hour or two, depending on how the cases, how dirty they are. And when they pop out, they'll be fairly clean. And the kit comes with a separator, so you pour it in the separator. It's because it'll have the walnuts and the casings. And here's what the separator looks like, and it goes over a 5-gallon bucket. And here I'll show you that real quick, what that looks like. 5-gallon bucket or 2.5-gallon bucket. You put this over, you open it up, you'll put your walnut medium and your cases in here. You'll close it. You'll go around and around a few times until all the cases are left in here and all your walnut media is left in the bucket. Once you pull it off, you'll open it up and your cases will be clean, and then you can start reloading. So after we've cleaned our cases and ready to reload, we need to establish what the formula is going to be for the powder and bullet ratio. So I use a lot of Hodgdon powder. They have a very good online site that you can go to, enter your bullet weight, enter the caliber, enter the powder that you want, and it spits out numbers for you. So in this case today we're going to load 9mm, and I'm going to use tight group powder, and I'm using a 122 grain lead bullet, flat nose. So figuring out how much I need, basically I'm going to use 3.8 grains of tight group and the 122 grain flat nose bullet, and that's going to be my formula. The thing with the auto powder discs is you're going to have to also figure out what the CC is for the grain of powder that you're using. So when I go to the auto powder disc numbers, and I'll just turn the pages in my book that I've created here, it's going to give me a grid of what the grains of powder equal using the CCs of the powder disc. So if I go to tight group and I go over here to 3.8 grains of tight group, it tells me that I need to use the .32 disc. So that's what I'll do with a Pro Auto powder disc. I'll put in the .32 disc, and then we'll get to reloading. I'll show you real quick how I have the operation set up. I have my cases here, I have my bullets here, I have my primers here, and I have my finished product that goes into a old peanut butter container that's been cleaned out. The first stage is, this is 9mm that I'm loading right now. The first stage is a die right here, and this is a sizing die, and it also de-primes it. There's a little pin in there. When we roll up the casing, we'll stick it in. You push down on the lever, it will de-prime it. Poke the little primer out, it will fall into the bottom here, which you'll either have to take it apart to get all your primers out, or I just use a vacuum cleaner and vacuum them out of inside here. And then once we come down with the lever, we'll stick a primer in the little primer tool, push in, and that pushes the primer up into the case. The next stage, I'll go up, and this is a expanding die which flares the mouth of the case. I have a Lee Autodisc powder measure riser right here, and then that's connected to the Lee Pro Auto Disc. So it has a little disc in here. It measures the powder. When I go up, it dumps it into the case, and then I come back down. When you come back down, you'll put a bullet on top. You'll go back up. It goes into the bullet seat and roll crimp die. I have the roll die screwed out so it will not roll crimp. It only seats the bullet, and I'll tell you why in the next stage. We'll go down, it'll twist again, and then we'll go back up, and this will go into the factory crimp die. And this die sets a factory crimp on the cartridge, and it also sizes the cartridge to ensure it will load into your chamber. And this is a great die. I don't have any malfunctions with any of my automatics when I load with a factory crimp die, and it works really well, and it gives a nice factory crimp on it. When we come down, it'll twist it back to the sizing and de-crimping die, and you'll pull it out, and that is the finished completed round of a 9mm. And so I'll show you full speed how it goes. Put the cartridge in, de-prime, size. I'll stick the primer in, go down, prime the round, go back up, dump the powder in, come back down, put the bullet on, seat the bullet, come back down, crimp it, make sure it is the right size, the cartridge, come back down, and it's a full finished round. So 4 pulls, out comes a finished round. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit right here so you can see. Putting the cartridge in, de-prime it, stick a primer in the primer pocket, pull up, prime it. Cartridge goes in for the powder and expansion of the mouth. Bullet goes on top, goes into bullet seating die, comes back down, goes into the factory crimp die, and also sizes the case. And that is a completed round once again.